Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Dan and today we're talking about the fourth episode of WandaVision. I'm really excited to be talking about this episode. I'm really sorry this video is so late. I just had a really busy weekend and I unfortunately could not get this video out on time, but I still hope you enjoy this video. So I think this was the episode we kind of needed in the show at this present time. So there have been two groups of people, I would say, with regards to WandaVision at the moment. Some people have been loving it from the get-go. They've loved every single thing they've done in the show so far. And then there's been other groups of people who haven't loved it as much and they've been a little let down and the sitcom stuff hasn't really landed with them as much. And I can understand both perspectives and both opinions with regards to WandaVision. I've kind of just been in the middle, I would say. I've really liked the sitcom stuff, but I have also just been craving more from the show. And I think this is exactly what episode 4 does. There's been a bunch of questions we've had since week 1 with regards to WandaVision, and I feel like this episode and episode 4 answers a lot of these questions, and it definitely just entertains a lot of the theories and fan theories that are going around as well, which is really cool. And I just was really blown away just with how amazing this episode was. I would probably say it's my favorite episode in the show so far. The episode starts with the blip. I think a lot of the MCU fans call it the snap. I prefer the snap as well. What I really liked about this opening is it was quite dark, and it's with everyone coming back from the snap, and we saw that in Far From Home as well, Spider-Man Far From Home. But I feel like Spider-Man Far From Home did it in a way that was a lot more comedic, whereas in WandaVision it was quite dark. And I think it was also because it took place in a hospital, and also because Monica actually loses her mother, because her mother, she was cured from cancer, but then she died in that 5-year gap period where people were gone from the snap by Thanos. So it was quite a dark opening, and I think also the way it opened in a hospital was also super relevant to the overcrowded hospitals that we've heard about throughout 2020 and even 2021 with regards to the coronavirus pandemic. So I thought that was really interesting, and it did just it gave me chills. That opening of that episode gave me a lot of chills. It was intense, it was super intense, and I really did feel for Monica as a character, just trying to look for her mother. I feel like this character already, we care about her so much within those first 30 seconds of the episode. Really excited to see where the MCU takes this character next, because so far she's one of my favorite characters on the show. And besides seeing her as a child in Captain Marvel, she's a completely new character, which is really exciting. So I really hope she has a bigger role in the MCU going forward. In this episode we also get to know more about S.W.O.R.D., who's the new organization. They kind of do have a similar vibe to S.H.I.E.L.D., but obviously S.H.I.E.L.D. was ended because of Hydra. And I'm really interested to see how S.W.O.R.D. plays a role in the next phase of the MCU. I feel like it is going to be quite interesting. We also know that Nick Fury is involved with them to some capacity, which we saw in the Far From Home after credits scene. So I'm really interested to see where that goes as well. This episode also establishes that, from at least our perspective at the moment, Wanda has created this bubble reality in Westview, and she's kind of just taken over this town. And when Monica goes to investigate, she gets trapped in this bubble reality that Wanda has created. At least we assume Wanda has created it. And that's when Jimmy Woo, who we saw from Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's a part of the FBI, that's where we see him and S.W.O.R.D. start getting involved to try figure out what actually happened to Monica. And I really like that. I also really like Jimmy Woo returning in the MCU. Such a great character. I really loved him in Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's also a little fun nod to his appearance in Ant-Man and the Wasp where he introduces himself to Monica Rambeau. He does the trick that Scott Lang taught him in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I absolutely loved that. I thought that was amazing. And when S.W.O.R.D. does get involved, we also see Darcy return, who we know from the Thor films, and I really do like her character as well. I know she's annoying to some people, but I really liked her character, and I was really excited to see her back in the MCU. We also know that now that the voice that was trying to communicate with Wanda in the previous episodes from the outside was Jimmy Woo's voice. So that was also really interesting. And it's also interesting how stuff slightly changes when it enters this bubble reality. Like the S.W.O.R.D. drone, which looked like a helicopter, and it still does look like a helicopter when it goes into the bubble reality, but it changes its appearance. It looks a lot more retro. It looks like a toy almost. And the same with the the sword agents who were in the hazmat suits, when they go into this bubble reality, he appeared to be like a beekeeper sort of figure. So I'm really curious to see what sort of ramifications this has on actual people. I know some people have been speculating that Monica Rambeau could possibly have her comic book powers now due to her entering this bubble reality, which would be really interesting. And I'm excited to see where that goes in the future. This episode also does kind of get a little meta when we are sort of watching Darcy watch the sitcom, and she makes a few comments that is like, it's super meta to us as an audience as well, who are watching them watching the sitcom. So I really like that as well. And then also, it's also just really interesting to see how dark the show is going. And especially towards the end of this episode, where we see like Wanda sees Vision for a second, and it's like the startling moment, because it's not Vision like in his alive form, it's like him dead, it's like his corpse. And honestly, it was chilling. Like, it was so like unexpected in that moment. And we just see how he looks at the end of Infinity War, but he's still in his clothes, and I was like, oh, this is creepy, man. And I think we just started to almost see Wanda losing control on the situation, on this bubble reality. And I really feel like the ramifications of this are going to be absolutely huge. And it's starting to get a lot darker than I initially thought it was going to get. The one other thing I'm going to touch on before I end this video is that when they were investigating all the people, because it almost seems like Wanda has just, like, she's taken over this town, and all the people in this town have sort of just become characters in this bubble reality, in this sitcom universe almost. And the only person they couldn't identify in this bubble reality that Wanda's created was Agnes, who's played by Catherine Hahn. So that's also interesting, and again makes me think that her character could be a major antagonist of the show. I'm really starting to think that the ending of the show is going to absolutely blow our minds and just open the floodgates to the next phase of the MCU, and I'm really, really excited about that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's late, I'm really, really sorry about that. I'll try my best to get episode 5 out on time, fingers crossed. But thank you for watching this. You guys are absolute legends. I really hope you guys are doing good out there. Please stay safe, and let me know in the comments down below what you think of WandaVision so far. I'd really be curious to know your thoughts. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there. Bye bye.